Come on. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Green Dragons Gaming. Without us, they couldn't feel like winners. Without them, we couldn't look so good. Um, just in case anyone is ever wondering, that's it's from the movie Excalibur, which is from like 1980, and it's called O Fortuna or Fortuna. I'm not sure exactly how to say that, but basically, I'm trying to get all 5 of these battle reports done today and posted because otherwise I run out of time. I mean, right now I'm able to do it because I'm on vacation. Um, but enough about that. Is This is going to be regarding the whole battle cry, and I'll be going on at the end of everything here to talk about some more tournaments going on in North American for what we have going on. Um, right now, it looks like we are growing, and please let's keep it up. Let's keep getting people into this game. We need new blood, old blood, any blood. You got a pulse? Get some models. Get on the table. So this is going to be Battle Cry 2019, Phoenixville, Pennsylvania, Game 4. Still sitting at table 1, so this is an oddity for me. We are now. This is going to be Demon Legions, which is Andrea from East Coast Warriors. He's one of their best players up there. If he does watch this again, congratulations. He'll know what I'm talking about. And then you've got me playing my Kingdom. So again, his list is not a good list against mine. Um, I think he may have played his blowflies wrong too. I think they generate 2 toxic hits. I think he may have only been playing as 1 when they take wounds, but well, again, I think he misplayed that. But he's got that maw, the one that if once you start eating things, it if it eats too much, it dies. But he's a adept of evoke. He's got a adept of divination and adept of witchcraft, all of which that can be nasty. The Myrmidons are not are strength 5 AP 1, but he's because of the digestive vomit and he's dominant. If he throws that, he does throw a character in there, and then if you feed them chaff to chaff them up, all of a sudden now they're going to be strength 6 AP 2, and so there's something to not to that can cause me to have a bad day. Succubi, again, they're already AP2 with a bunch of attacks, and he does the same thing with the other Harbinger. The 5 Brazen Beasts, that can be if he uses them as a flanker, which I know I would, especially with Whipcrack Tail, which is lightning reflexes. That can be brutal. He has 2 units of flying chaff. They're probably the best chaff in the game. 4 bloatflies, which is just a bad day for anybody with armor. And then the 6 claw fiends. And the broodmother is you roll a d6, and if you're able to roll above a 6, you gain back d3 wounds to the unit. Or I'm just like, great, love it. There's my list. Feel free if you have any questions so far. At this point in time, my Duke's been pulling. Everyone's been pulling their weight. I'm very happy with how this list. I've been playing it for quite some time now, and I'm pretty happy with it actually. I liked my old list. Again, Duke Breslin still writing those stories. I still have to publish another chapter or two. I have it written out in my head. I just have to put it on paper. And that's it. And again, this is all part of North American Masters. So please be aware that North American Masters, it will be held in Cleveland, Ohio, it looks like. It'll be the weekend of January 25th. And if you have a tournament you want to count as a GT here in North America, you need to reach out to us. So feel free to contact myself or Bubba Fett or Truck Eye up on the forums. And here's how this looks. So we went ahead. I ended up finishing deploying first. I won first turn, or did I want first? No, I didn't want first. I want him to have first turn. One second turn. But this is after Vanguards, and he moved himself back away from my units, worried about long charges. That's just what he wanted. He didn't want me to get into him, and he thing is like some of the other players is he doesn't have champions in a lot of his units because he maxes out on points. He does have units where it counts on the Succubi and on his Myrmidons, but the other units, no, they don't, because 20 points for an extra attack versus maybe that's 60 points for a whole extra 3 attacks, with so many wounds and every. Yeah, it makes sense as to the why. And this is playing with the new Demons book, so they are definitely, they are nasty. And let's see, going, he's got the Clawed Fiends, then behind him the Bloat Flies. That's his Gluttony guy. There's Myrmidons with a Harbinger in there. He has a unit of 5 Furies behind the building, another unit of 5 Furies behind the Succubi that also has another Harbinger, and then you can see his Brazen Beasts. So I move up as such, and I'm trying to get him to declare a charge. I need to bring him closer. My army wants him close. For me, I've got my Aspirants, my Duke, I've got my Knights of the Realm in the middle, my Grails on the right. Alright, so there is that. He's got first turn. He backs up. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, he had first turn. This is base of my turn. He doesn't even move. He just is sitting there waiting for me. He does not take my bait. So I put my fast cavalry on his flank. I put the Green Knight right up against the fence. I do edge up a little bit with everything. Again, I want him to declare a charge, but he is just backing up, worried about my own range. I end up getting Breath of a Lady, Oaken Throne up, and over here he has 5 now. He's down to 4. So my archers, my crossbowmen, they are taking care of business and doing wounds where they need to do wounds. So I was pretty happy with that. Over here again, I back up my knights. He presses up a little bit, but with him still having the chaff, that's going to be the issue. So on my turn, this is bottom of 2 here, I charge my Green Knight into the Brazen Beasts. It's always better to charge than be charged, because they do have devastating charge rules. So I don't want that to come. And I figure the Green Knight, he's a tough cookie to crack. This will allow me to now move up and get myself into position. But I still have to be careful because the Green Knight could die and he still has chaff. That is the biggest issue, is that chaff. So there's that. I tried the bomb charge into his Myrmidons and I failed, but I saw no downside to it because it wasn't going to put me in range of anything I cared about. I think he needed 11, a 10, and 11 in order to get in to my Knights of the Realm. And there's my Duke edging up, keeping his options open. So you see where my fast cav is? This was a mistake. I thought I had him chaffed, and I moved them back. I did have him originally, and then it's like, no, I want to slide him back just a little bit. I forget the reason why. And that allowed the opening of the charge into my Grail Knights. And I went, crap, I knew better. I knew better. And that was it. So that was my mistake. I get off again, Breath of a Lady up on the Green Knight. He does a wound to me. As you can see, there's now another Brazen Beast missing with an additional wound. So the Green Knight is doing what it needs to do. He declares a charge onto my Grail Knights. He declares a charge onto my Knights of the Realm. Both fail. He chaffs me up as such. And finally, it is time for the chaff war to begin. He chaffs me up with his 1 unit of Furies on both in the middle, 1 unit of Furies against my Grail Knights, and now my my yeomen have a use. Now, real quick, one thing I was considering is, do I have a pic of that? Oh, sorry, I'm going the wrong way. So there I am up on the hill. He chants me up in a way that my mage can still get out of the unit. And I thought about running my lord and then the damsel by herself out of the unit into that unit of succubi, just so I can start taking out those characters and working on a unit. But I thought better of it because, again, he does have that 5-up ward, play the smarter game. So that's exactly what we did. So now at this point, I can go ahead. I'm going to end up chaffing him up. So I take that charge. I chaff him up there. My Green Knight's still going to town. As you can tell, there's now another Brazen Beast missing. And I'm sitting now at 2 wounds. During my magic phase, I get 1 wound back. He does have 2 hexes on me. He has the wheel turn, so hit on 4s, wound on 4s. And he also then has scrying. So I'm now hitting him on 5s, I think is what was determined. Because I guess there was change of the wording on wheel turns. I don't have the rulebook in front of me. I'll have to look it up. But I still, but I also had a stone skin, so he wasn't going to wound me no matter what, because I'm now resilient 7 on him. So, and I keep forgetting to roll for my horse, by the way. That's another factor I did this entire tournament. I forgot about the horse. Very anti-Equitane when you forget about a horse. So there's my stone skin. So there's that. Easily eat them and redirect or pivot. This allows me to either go into Brazen Beast if I need to, or go into the Succubi. Succubi would be my first choice because I think I can just take that unit off the board. Over here, I chaff up his Great Unclean One, or not the Great Unclean One. That's an old reference. Whatever the Gluttony character is, and the Myrmidons quite well, because again, he's like, okay, yeah, I'll be pushed off to the side and try to get that over. I'm like, first off, you can't. Like, we lasered out, couldn't do it. Secondly, you have to maximize. So the Gluttony character will be catty corner, and then you'll sit there with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of your models, and you are 6 wide. So that's the way it's going to have to be. You have to maximize number of combatants. He goes, oh, that's a really good move. I'm like, thank you. So he does charge them and right into the 5-up armor Mountain Yeoman, and he charges in with his Bloat Flies as such. He also charges his Myrmidons, which I was chaffing up. I chose not the Myrmidons, the Clawed Fiends. I chose not to charge the Clawed Fiends last turn because, yeah, going the right way. Right, and just chaffing. The reason why I chose to do this is if I went ahead and I charged him, he beats me. He gets to reform freely and then, or pivot freely, and then go right into my Knights of the Realm. So instead, I just go ahead and I chaff him up, forfeiting that unit. So there's that combat. He kills 4. I do nothing. Over here, my BSB goes first, and he manages to take out 2 Bloat Flies by himself. Okay, because he has his breath weapon and his own close combat attacks, which hit and wounded and everything else. So, and everything counts as flaming, so he only is using his Aegis save. And he goes, I didn't think that was going to happen. I'm like, it's a breath weapon, strength 5, they auto hit. Yeah, and during my magic phase, I had gotten up Healing Waters with Oaken Throne. So now that is a 4-up regen save on that unit. So all those toxic attacks, which he's hitting me with, I'm actually rolling my saves. So again, Lady Luck was shining on me there. And as you can see, the Bloat Flies are no more. And there they are off to the side. At this point in time, Andrea is from Italy. He's I'm picking up on a couple of words he's saying, and I just let it go from there. My five mountain yeoman I picked up because it was the Myrmidons. Over here, though, he's like, yeah, you just want to pick them up. I'm like, no, they have 4 up armor. Yeah, you're AP 2, but you still have to hit, you still have to wound. Let's just roll it out. Kills 1 model. He rolled poorly. He kills 1 model, and they stick. So the moral of this story, boys and girls, is you need to roll it out. Just don't take anything for granted. Just roll it out, see what happens. And he only did 1 wound, and he had to keep 5 models in combat with me, so he couldn't reform. And I did a couple wounds back to him too. That was the kicker too. So he couldn't. So he wins the combat. So you can do a combat pivot or reform, which gives him +1. You have to read the rules. +1 strength, +1 AP, which just doesn't sound right. That if you win combat but they stick, no, that's a little much. But the Grails still go right into that lovely flank there. I'll gladly take that with the unicorn in the back, and get off again some stone skin. Oaken Throne is still up. He is now very concerned with Breath of the Lady. Over here, charging with the Duke. Take my DTs. I pass my DTs, and the Duke is sitting against 2 of them, and the rest of the units up against 4 of them. They charge in with their impact hits and everything else, and he issues a challenge with his character. I accept with my BSB at this point in time. It's a pillow fight there, and wipe that unit just out. He does manage to put some wounds onto my Lord, and my Lord then overruns into his Gluttony Lord and dies. I fail a DT, but he comes back as a Black Tabard with 1 wound left. So it's his turn. He only has he does have 2 mages left, but the one is because I wiped out the unit of Succubi. The mage only has 1 wound left from that, or the Harbinger has 1 wound left in that unit. And of course the Gluttony, which is Evoke. Again, I think he has rerolls to hit up on his Gluttony character. And that virtue, that knight has offensive skill 9 and does 9 wounds to the Gluttony Lord. The Gluttony Lord has 9 wounds. I never got a chance to roll for the Hippogriff. This poor man's dice failed him so completely. I mean, I truly felt his pain. Between both units, the lack of, I mean, the one unit actually did save, but then he had to re-roll those because of divine attacks. But the Myrmidons, they failed. His Gluttony Lord, that one failed. So end of the day, all he has left is the Myrmidons. And this is the beginning of the next game. I'll get to that one. But yeah, all he has left is the Myrmidons here. So it ends up being a 20-0 victory for the Kingdom. And to me, the Claw Fiends, that's what got him points this game. Picked him up 402 points. For me, my Mountain Yeoman, sticking it to the Succubi so he couldn't turn around, couldn't move, and allowing the Knights of the Grail just into that nice juicy flank. And the Green Knight, it could have been argued for the Green Knight. It could have been argued for the Duke for one-timing his Lord. Again, the army was forming perfectly at this point in time. So this is a North American Masters qualifying GT. And the Canadian Masters, I think, went on this last weekend too. I haven't. I need to look up the results in regards to that. I'm really interested to see how that turned out. Upcoming events is the Ottawa, which is Canadian Tabletop Championship, May 4th, 5th. Wars of the Plains, June 29th, 30th. Canadian Open GT in Edmonton, April. Well, that just happened. I'm sorry. Let's see. Mountain Mayhems, October 21st, 22nd. We have Hogfest, which is going to be out in November in Wisconsin. We have Social Joust in LA. I don't know when. Michigan GT is October 8th, 9th, I believe. Lone Star. Pete, I need help. I don't know when Lone Star is or was. Glad you won that. Tides of War should be in November. That's from Skaven AZ. And then we've got Triumph GT June 8th, 9th. That's up here in North Jersey. We've got Buckeye in Delaware, Ohio, June 22nd, 23rd. Brawler Bash, again, I'm bitter I can't go to that one. June 1st, 2nd. Battle Cry just occurred. Corner Hammer just occurred. And Dragon's Den, that's the one I'm running. That'll be September 7th and 8th up here in Phoenixville or surrounding area. So if you have any questions or concerns, please definitely go ahead and ping me online. And until next time, happy gaming.